This is a walkthrough of the insides of a Grado Laboratory Standard Turntable from 1964 or 65, the Model Lab series. I've got it disassembled, so I thought I'd do this while I've got it disassembled. So it's sitting on its side, the top platter is removed, and the flywheel and subassembly are removed. So this is the upper platter. It's got a mat that's bonded on there. I assume it was done that way from new, but I don't know. And the bottom has some sort of damping material, apparently. Now, I had assumed that damping material was done by someone after the fact, because that's the rage these days, to deaden your platter. But when I took it apart, so there's a flywheel underneath that sits in here. This crossbar mounts, and there's a flywheel which is sitting over here, and that flywheel also is the same as the top platter. It's got the deadening material on it. Now, of course, it's got the shaft, the rotating shaft, rather than the hole in the center like the top platter does, and it doesn't have a mat on it, but it's the same piece, probably been bored to a slightly smaller diameter, and that shaft has been pressed in. So this is projecting up above the deck of the turntable there, and this is where the belt is riding, and this lower part with the white grease on it that has a little ball bearing on the end of the shaft, and it's riding in this lower bearing here. So there's an upper bush here in the top. It looks like it's just a nylon bush. So this is all going in through the bottom. This is projecting up, and that platter is going to sit over here. And there's a little circlip that sits right there. There's a power switch. It's simple on-off. It's 1 speed, 33 1/3, and it's 2 motors. The belt travels from here to here and around the platter. As best I can tell, my belt seems a little stretched. It's either supposed to be a 36-inch belt or perhaps a 35.1-inch belt, which is what I've just placed an order for to see if it will work. Because my belt is measuring about 36.5 inches long, and it's really loose. The turntable does spin. It spins a little bit slow, like 3% slow. I think the belt is probably stretched a little bit, but I'm not sure. I know Grado intended to have a very loose-fitting belt. So that's the short version of the inside. I just wanted to show the inside of this thing. This cross piece is not an I-beam, but sort of half an I-beam. It's heavy and stiff. There's 2 bolts, one for each side. There's a small locating hole there and a matching pin right here. And there's a nut set in the underside of the top below this aluminum top plate. So those two, there's 1 bolt for each end. This goes up. This is to adjust the bottom. This is to adjust the overall tension on the machine. From what I've read, Grado designed these motors to rotate the platter slightly fast, and that you could gently increase the tension until you got the platter rotation at exactly 33 1/3. Mine is not working that way. Mine is running slow, and I'm not sure at this point why. But that's the idea. That's what the design specification was, according to Grado's literature back from the 60s, and also there's at least 1 patent description about this. So that nut that you're seeing there is a 1-inch nut. You just loosen it and take your flat-bladed screwdriver to turn that center bearing in. Only clockwise is going to tighten that nut in, and it's going to put pressure on the lower bearing there of that turntable shaft. And if you tighten it enough, it's going to push these I don't know what you would call those, but that like rubber seal up against the bottom of the lower plate. So this is fixed somehow. It's pressed on there at a certain height. So that's how you adjust the bearing. I've used this number 2 grease in there, which perhaps is too thick, but it's a lot of weight on there. I wasn't really comfortable with sewing machine oil as being my sole lubricant, but maybe it will work. I'm gonna get a new belt and see if I can get the speed up that way first, and if not, I'll go back and revisit my decision to put the number 2 lithium grease there. So that's all for this video. I can't think of anything else to say. It's a pretty simple unit. So, all right. Take care. Bye.